Hello from Slide Nerd and hello from Weebs. What's up, folks? In this video, I'm gonna talk about this image which you see on the left side, which has meme titles, descriptions, and some images. How to make a list view like this. Let's go ahead and start. Alright, so what are the 4 steps to create a list view? The one which you saw in the last slide. Step 1. Prepare the data sources. Take those images, take those titles, take those descriptions, and merge them, right? Step 2. Define the appearance of a single row in XML. Now if you guys remember, a list view is not a simple view. It's actually a container view. It takes other views inside it. So each of those single rows that you see is actually a separate view with a lot of components inside. So you have to define how one of those single rows is going to appear inside a separate XML file. Step 3. Create a custom adapter that maps the data from the data source to a single row. Now again, the data source can be anything. It can be a simple array. It can be a strings.xml file. It can be a database cursor, anything, right? And you need to put that data inside specific views inside your single row. Now at this point, if you guys are a bit unclear about what I'm talking about, don't worry too much about it. I'm going to show you everything in action. Step 4. Decide what happens when the user clicks on an item. Now remember, it depends on you whether you want to handle events or not. Now I have shown you how to handle events too many times. So in this video, I'm not going to go into that part and waste your time. I'm going to go specifically into what is important for creating that structure which you saw above in the last slide. Step 1. Prepare the data sources. Alright, so what are those data sources that you need? Well, you need images, you need titles, which is nothing but a string, right? And then you need descriptions. So if you see descriptions, you can have them inside your strings.xml, inside a string array. Same way you can place images inside a drawable folder inside your res. For the titles, again, you can have them inside a string array. So if you see, you have this image over here, which is nothing but those images inside the drawable folder. You have this description title which says meme1, which is nothing but from the string array inside your strings.xml. Same way with your description. So if you see your string array, it looks something like this inside your strings.xml file. You create a string array, give it a name, put the items inside that contain the text, and well, simply use them inside your app. Alright, step 2. Define the appearance of a single row. Now if you guys take a look, this is your single row. Alright, if you see this carefully, you have this image view over here which represents this image. You have a text view here that represents this meme1. Of course, it has a big font size. And then you have another text view which represents your description. So you need to create this structure inside an XML file. For the image view, I'm going to probably take a size of 48 by 48. I'm going to make sure that all those images, these images, are 48 by 48 in size. Alright, so next step, step 3, create a custom adapter. Now this custom adapter is the one who is going to be responsible for taking the data from those places which you define and putting them inside the appearance for a single row, which remember is that separate XML file I was talking about. So there are 4 steps or 3 steps involved in this. Create class that extends array adapter. For our case, we are going to extend the array adapter. Now your array adapter has a few set of constructors. You need to override one of those constructors compulsorily. So again, we are going to go ahead and discuss which constructor it is going to be and what makes the best sense. Then step 3, override the getView method. Now this getView method is the one responsible for taking the data and putting them inside the view which you gave it and actually creating the single row which you want. Alright, so the part about extending the array adapter is pretty simple. Let's focus on the constructors that I was talking about. So here I'm going to use this constructor which is array adapter context int resource, which is the name of the layout file which defines the single row appearance. Text view resource ID is the ID of the text view inside which you want to put the data contained by the string array. So here in our case, well, actually our case is a little tricky. So if you see the resource is going to have this XML file which contains all these things inside. Alright, the image view, the text view 1, text view 2. The problem is with these 2 parameters. What we need is we need to map one of the text views to one of the data sources. The problem with us is we have 2 text views and we have 2 data sources. One of them is the titles and the other one is the descriptions. So we have 2 options. We can either have r.id.textView1, which is our first text view, and put the titles string array inside that, over here inside the constructor, or we can have the text view 2 and map that to the description string array. One of these has to be done. If you don't do either of these, you won't see anything on the list view. I've tried it out, and that's why I'm saying that. So let's discuss a little about how your custom adapter is going to work. So here you have your empty list view at the time when it's just created. Now what happens for each row? When the first row is to be shown to the user, the getView method is called, and this is the method which actually creates this row which you see over here. Again, the second row is to be created and shown to the user, getView method is called. The third row is to be shown, getView is called, and so on. So let's actually see how to use the getView. But before we go into that, let's take a look at what these numbers mean. 0, 1, 2. As you guys can notice, very simply, it's the position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. View convert, the second parameter. Don't worry about that right now. We will talk about it when I show you object recycling, using something to optimize your list view performance. The third parameter, view group parent, is nothing but a reference to the list view, so that you can use it in some way inside the getView method if you want. So let's go and discuss how you can use the getView method. Alright, so you have your single row.xml file which contains a relative layout, which is the root. Inside that you have an image view, a text view 1, a text view 2 containing the descriptions, right? So here the method looks something like this: view getView int position. Remember, it gives you 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on for each position of the row. Convert view, which I told don't worry about this right now. View group parent, it is nothing but a reference to the list view. So here the first step you need to do is convert this XML into a Java object. Now why would you do that? Because you see, we have something like this which has an image view, text view 1, text view 2 and all. We need to actually put the image inside the image view, set the title Mimi1 inside this text view 1, and set the description saying this is a description blah 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 inside our text view 2. So for doing all this, we need references to text view 1, text view 2 and this image view, and for that we need that object in the Java form. So the first step you need to do is inflator. If you guys remember the layout inflator video which I discussed about, you can go ahead and check it out in my playlist where I've shown you how the layout inflator works. Again, here I've set inflator.inflate r.layout.single row, which is this XML file. Alright, I've specified the parent, which is nothing but the list view, and I've specified a false parameter over here. Now remember, I've shown you exactly how this inflate method works in the video about layout inflator. So if you're not clear with this part, go ahead and check it out. I will also show you what happens when you put true over here instead of false, and how the behavior changes with that in a separate video. But for now, let's just forget about the statement much. Then at this point your v contains the root view of the single row.xml. Now what is the root view? Well, it's the relative layout over here. This is the root, and that is what your v object contains. So using that v object, fill the values for each view to create your completed row. That means find the image view's exact drawable, set the image view's image resource to be that drawable, find this text view, set text equals to the title, and set description equals to that, right? And then at that point, after you do those three value setting things, this is what you see. You have your image set over here in place of the image view, you have the Mimi1 set for the title, and you have the description 1 set for the text view 2. And this is what you return from your getView method. As you guys can see, it says public view getView. This view object is this entire thing that you return to the user or the list view, and the list view is simply gonna keep building this, and that's how you see your completed list view with images. So now I've shown you guys how it works. In the next video, I'm gonna go inside Android Studio and actually make this work. Alright, so if you like what you saw, please subscribe to my channel, comment, let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Have a nice day.